we're kind of getting into our routine this week, get back into a game week deal where yesterday was a lot of error correction, introduction, conditioning. We'll go out today and have a pretty good pads practice today and tomorrow, and then try to polish it up on Thursday and get ready to go to Kansas. First road game of the year. Got a lot of young guys who haven't played on the road, so that'll be an experience for them. And we expect to get Kansas' best shot after coming off last week. I'm sure they're going to, like every team, you try to make a lot of improvement from game one to game two. Certainly, I'm sure they feel like they kind of gave the game away a little bit with turnovers and mistakes. And, it ought to be a heck of a game. Looking forward to playing somebody from the Big 12. We haven't done that. Well, we've got our own problems on defense. We've got to I thought we played better in the second half, but we've got to do better against the run. And we didn't get a lot of turnovers last week. That's a big emphasis on defense, and we turned it over a couple of times ourselves. So, that aspect, we're worried more about Georgia Tech than we are the other team. We're trying to really focus on getting better as a football team. You play the game as it comes. That might be way overrated. I think it still comes down to the points. You got to get off blocks. You got to tackle people. You got to get in the right gaps. We had a lot of missed assignments, as you would expect, first time out with guys playing different stuff. But the one thing that's scary is, you had 4 weeks to get ready or in camp or, 2 weeks to get ready for that opponent, and this week you got 3 days. So we've got to make sure that we cut down on that. And the best way to win is not to lose. You don't beat yourself. And, you got to do that. I think sometimes – I said it again, offense, defense, kids crutch, man. When they're getting their butt whipped, it's always the scheme or they need to make an adjustment. Sometimes they just need to man up and make a play. You're not going to have 2 guys unblocked every time to go tackle somebody or whatever. You need to wade through a blocker and make a play. Same thing on offense. You need to block people. It's too easy to say, well, we did this and that helped, or we did that and that helped. What we did was we played a little better. I don't know. We'll get Robert Hall back. I think DeAke's probably still out. We'll try to make an assessment on Will Jackson here probably tomorrow. Trying to think who else. Coop, we'll see how that's going. That's about the only ones I can think of that might have a possibility to miss. Oh, I'm sure somebody might point it out. To me, there's everybody fends for themselves. I mean, if you look over all the conference, I think lost 2 games the first week. That's pretty good if you got 12 teams playing. So, I think both games that the conference lost, certainly Virginia Tech had had every chance to win the game. And, I didn't catch the end of it, but North Carolina did too, evidently. So, it's a lot better than a year ago the first week. So people are going to think what they want to think anyway. Well, it's somebody was asking yesterday, it's about an hour and a half plane ride. It's not much different riding on the bus to Clemson. Hopefully it won't be a big deal. It may affect them more. They're playing actually 11 o'clock their time, so it'll be noon our time, and I don't know that it'll be that unusual really. Well, I think that they all had some positives and they all had things they can do better. The things that we see when we watch the tape is we had some missed assignments back there that could have really hurt us. We gave up big plays and those kind of things, and we'll evaluate it again this week, and we could very easily have 2 different guys starting. It's the guys who played the best and the guys that practiced the best will start. Yeah, I mean, they're about normal. That's about what you're going to see week in and week out. I was impressed with South Carolina State's tailback. I mean, he broke some nice runs, but we've got to get off blocks better. And a lot of the stuff we're in the wrong gaps a couple of times, and when you do that, you open up creases, and to their credit, they found them. You're not going to get the guys when they're in the shotgun and they're throwing all stuff underneath. I mean, it's catch and throw. I thought we got some pressure at times, got our hands up, tipped a couple of balls. You'll be able to tell more about the pass rush when, guys are taking conventional 7-step drops and they're going deep and they're holding the ball a little bit. I think that kid had gotten sacked 3 or 4 times all last year. The nature of what they do, he's going to throw it before you get there. It doesn't change anything. We get ready to play the schemes and the system, and I think that that's another myth that's probably way overrated, in that people get ready for certain people. There are very few people that play college football that people are afraid of. You usually get ready for the scheme that they use or the offense or whatever. There might be a guy, a receiver, or somebody that you try to do something special to in certain situations, but it's hard to do that. I mean, you really weaken yourself in other places if you're trying to concentrate on this, that, or the other. That's just my take on it. People say a lot, if they stop the guy, well, we really concentrated on this guy. And if the guy has a lot of yardage, they'll say, well, we were going to give him his and we wanted to stop everybody else. It's just something to talk about. Well, I think we've got an idea what they'll play defensively. I mean, he was at Mississippi State a year ago, and we played them, and that's very. I mean, you watch the tape, and they're playing the same defense, so it won't be drastic changes, I wouldn't think. Offensively, you know what Turner did at Buffalo, you know what Chuck Long did at San Diego State, and then you saw what they did last week. Everybody does the same things. I mean, it's like I said, it's no revelation. I mean, we need to stop the run. That's the way we need to play football. If my experience through the years, you stop the run and you run the ball, you're going to win way more than you lose. Well, we were a little bit short personnel, but guys got to play. We talked about that. They're going to play. I mean, we've got to at least get some 3-man rotations going at positions, and guys can't stay out there and play 70 snaps. Although I say that, and in a close game, our quarterback plays 70 snaps. What's the difference? Or the offensive line. But I think that you have to go. Some kids can play more than others. It's clear to me that some of those guys have got to get out of there. You got to get some more people in. No, it's the same. I mean, we probably had more busts when they lined up in 3-4 than we did when they lined up in what we practiced. It's not that complicated. It's really not. I mean, they got 11 guys. They can only line up a few ways. So, you've got rules for every play, and if guys understand their rules, there shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I'm just not as worried about it as everybody else seems to be. It is what it is. I think there's games that he's going to throw the ball really well, and he has in the past. And there's games that he may struggle sometimes. But what you hope is if he struggles, it's a game that you don't need to throw it. I really believe we could have won the game on Saturday without ever throwing one. We've played a lot of games that way. So, do we want to be more efficient? But, 6 attempts is a pretty small sample size to announce something dead, especially when one got dropped. One was a pass interference. It wasn't that big a deal to me. Would I like to seen him throw a couple balls better? Yeah. But I've seen the kid. He can throw the ball. If you're waiting for him to complete 70% of your passes, you're going to be waiting for a long time. But he's very adequate throwing the ball enough for us to do what we need to do. It gives him something else to talk about, I guess. I mean, it'd be the same thing if you were throwing the ball. People would be concerned you weren't running it. So it's, I don't know. Fans will be fans. That's their right. So they pay their money, come the game, they can complain about whatever they want to complain about, if they can get in. That was a joke. And just for the record, I have nothing to do with that. I thought Logan played pretty good. He did some good things. It was those guys aren't going to have a lot of stats, but he probably played as well as anybody else. Brandon's fallen off a little bit. He missed about 9 or 10 practices when he got hurt, and he was a little bit lost out there. I mean, he's going to be a really good player. He's a good athlete. I think he's just kind of got to get back in the groove a little bit. Yeah, we're going to have to play. We're going to have to get a 3-man rotation in there, and or at that position maybe 2 guys, and we'll see whether it's TJ, whether it's Ben. Having Robert back for sure helps because Robert can certainly, he plays out there with Jason, so that's that. Whether Ben helps back up Ajon and TJ plays nose or you or whoever, but we've got to get a rotation going. I was okay. I mean, the kickoff return team never really had a chance to do anything. I thought we covered kicks really well. Kickoff. Our punt team was atrocious. A couple of times we punted for as much as we worked on it. I mean, it could have been ugly. We got pinned inside. We got to look at that. Effort on extra point and field goal block was lacking. We pointed that out on Monday. Punt returner never really had a chance. I think he learned what a fair catch is about. But other than that, there really wasn't much of a chance. DJ McCann had a good return, caught it on the run. So I think the jury's still out on that. Well, they got a punt blocked. I tell you, watching the tape, I was just looking at it before I came down here a little earlier this morning. Special teams, their kicker really, kicked it well. Kickoffs, a couple they had. They had a couple of nice returns. I think it's too early to tell in one game. They missed a field goal, a couple of field goals, but that happens. But I think it's too early to tell about that stuff in one game. They did get a punt block. They turned the guy loose, but that happens to a lot of people early in the year. No, I didn't. I don't think I've. Not really. I mean, we've been booed before where I've coached, I guess. As fans will be fans. I can remember in my first coaching job, I think the first year we didn't lose a game in the regular season in high school, and it was actually my hometown. And second year we lost one in the regular season, and as we were coming off the field, they were yelling, "Fire the bums." They were yelling at me, "Hey, you weren't any good when you played." Fans will be fans. That's what they do. Well, I think they made progress. Julian's farther down the depth chart on defense than I thought he would be. But boy, did he do a great job covering kicks and on special teams. And, Orwin's got a chance. He's probably going to start this week. So he's still not perfect at everything. But, if he has a good 2 days of practice, certainly he'll be starting. Well, I don't know. I mean, if our guys are overconfident off the effort they put out there, it's going to be a long year. I mean, my point to them is we got to get better. I'm not worried about Kansas or whoever it might be we're playing. We've got to get better as a football team, and there's so many things we can do better. That's our focus this week. And they're not – I hope they're not dumb enough to think that they're just going to go roll out their helmet and somebody's going to let them win the game. It's like I told them on Monday, you better brace for their best shot. Their back's against the wall. They're going to come out fighting now. They'll be upset. They'll be mad. It's like I asked our team, how would you be on Monday if you'd lost to South Carolina State? That's all you got to think about. They'll be upset. That's part of it.
What else goes into it?
Well, just playing fast. I mean, just coming off. And a part of it is knowing exactly what you got to do and playing fast. Coming off the ball, quit catching, quit, just worrying about thinking you're going to miss somebody and just trying to hang on. It's like I told the offensive line, they need to think about getting in a sprinter stance and coming off the ball. If they miss, it's on me. I'd much rather them do that and miss the guy than I would to catch them and just try to play patty cake. And then we've got to go faster too. Everything, the tail motion's got to be faster, the quarterback's got to be faster. Everybody just needs to play faster. On both sides of the ball. Yeah, I watched it. I mean, I thought they looked good on offense. They moved the ball up and down the field. They struggled in the red zone. I think the one thing, that kid made a great play on the goal line when he jumped the line. And, the other, they just had some missed opportunities. Really, the last play of the game, the kid from Maryland made a heck of a play. I mean, it was a one-on-one tackle right in the hole. It was made a heck of a play. It was just one of those things. It was almost like it wasn't meant to be. But I thought they played well.